I was selling a business in 2023. I was checking out.
Yeah.
My wife was done with me. I would have been doing average 80 to 100 hours some weeks. I was fat. I was miserable. I was on the piss. Remember one night my wife went out and she didn't come home when I expected her to. And she come home the next morning just fucking rattled. For her to not want to be around me.
That was almost the beginning of the end.
We hit a budget this year to hit 10 mil and I think we're going to snap it.
Welcome back, guys, to Brothers Mind Podcast. I'm back on deck. I've just been away. Heath's had to steer the ship for a while, and we've seen the shit that he produced about driving around in some Lamborghini thinking he's a rock star.
Wow.
But we've got, I was riding a motorbike from Cairns to Cape York. So that was an epic journey in itself, mate. But, we've got Ryan from Green Connect. Electrical, so he's one of our guests today. So thanks, Ryan, for coming on, mate.
Thanks, Lukey.
We appreciate it. And obviously, we've still got Heath over there in the corner.
I'm here, guys. This is Luke's show today. But no, serious note, we've got Ryan, how do you say it, Ryan? Frahm. Ryan Frahm from Green Connect.
Yeah, man.
So how have we met, Ryan? Let's sort of go back there, mate. So we met through Mojo, didn't we? Yeah, a bit of coaching. You're big in that space.
Yeah. I think a couple of years ago I reached out to Mojo. Would have been actually 2023. Did a bit of business coaching, bit of personal development, and then obviously met you recently.
Well, we'll get into that because Luke's big on the personal development stuff, as you can tell. And off air, you guys sort of attacked me about the coaching and business coaching stuff, and we had a bit of
yourself, mate. We just dialed in.
We had a mini little debate about the pros and cons, didn't we? But we'll jump back into that. But tell us a little bit about yourself, Ryan. I mean, Luke, we should probably start there.
Yeah, well,
wasn't all about your trip, mate.
Yeah, I know. No, well, you look, Ryan. Tell us a bit, obviously, like Heath just said about yourself, what you do. Obviously, you're an electrician, as we know. So maybe talk us through a little bit about that.
Yeah. Oh, look, 42 years old, become a founder of Green Connect 8.5 years ago. But before that, my journey started when I was 20 years old. Was driving forklifts around Woolworths, as you do. Didn't seek the ceiling that I wanted to, so I decided to, look out, and I went to a barbecue one day, met a bloke. All of a sudden, he told me he was running an electrical company as a division manager. Thought it sounded cool. Next minute, I applied for a group training organisation. This is when I was living in Wakery, by the way, so originally a Riverland boy.
Oh, yeah, nice.
River Rat.
Yeah, River Rat,
River Rat.
Small town, close community. Not a lot of opportunity up there. But then, just decided to apply for an apprenticeship and bang, out of a blue, got an opportunity. So out of nowhere, moved down Adelaide, started that.
So, Ryan, you're a little bit different than some of the other guests that we've had on, all the trade-based sort of people. So your story started at 20.
Yep.
Yeah, right. So you weren't the mainstream, like Luke and myself, and we've had some other electricians on and concreters and tradespeople where they sort of start earlier.
Yep.
Right, so that's interesting. So was it an adult apprenticeship that you undertook?
No, I was just on the cusp. I think they snapped me in just before. It was 21 years old.
21, I reckon, yeah.
Yep.
So they got you on the cheap money, but the adult labour wage.
I was a tier 1 operator. I worked for an EBA business, luckily enough. I think back then I was still only, I was taking home about $550 a week after doing 60-odd hours. But anyway.
So that was the start of it all? Apprentice at 20?
Yep.
And then sort of fast forward that and how you moved into the space of starting your own business. Yeah. I mean, that's sort of probably what we want to get into the juicy stuff. Yeah,
look, I stayed with it was back then, it was a company called O'Donnell Griffin. Not sure if you guys are aware. It was a really big tier 1 sort of company nationwide. Stayed there, started at the ground up, worked my way up. Was there for 9 years. And then GFC sort of hit halfway through it. And I think that sort of to capitalise a few businesses. Then up seeing an opportunity. So I was doing large industrial work. Sort of big projects like a desal plant, all that sort of thing. And I love that. And then the opportunity sort of presented to go work over doing FIFO in Western Australia. So I picked up that and went straight over there. Spent 2.5, 3 years doing FIFO.
As a qualified electrician?
Yeah, I left Adelaide as a supervisor and I went over there back on the tools as a sparky just to get a leg in the door.
Yeah.
I just loved it. I didn't go over for the money. I went over for the opportunity. That's just me. And I just loved it, being a part of that sort of environment. It was a 4-on-1 roster too, so no time home. Back at that time, I was previously married and that didn't work out too well in the end. But
well, we'll talk about that because, I mean, obviously these guys that go away and chase the money, I'm assuming there's we've talked about it, haven't we, Luke, on other episodes, there's a price to success.
100%.
So
Well,
going
it's the
away.
sacrifice, isn't it, that you make, right? You know, and you're away, obviously, like you just said, 4 and 1. So that takes a toll on the home life, doesn't it? Because you're always away, mate, you know.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about that. So what did home life look like at that point, mate?
Look, it was, I would have been roughly about 30 years old at that point. So we were previously together from about 20 years old was when I first got with that particular woman, and we got married.
Yeah, we don't say names on here, mate.
No,
you got to keep it all alias.
No, there's no, I honestly
no, that's okay.
can't even remember that chapter in my life, if I'm honest, but I was, 20 years old, I think. We got together then, and I got married when I was maybe 23, so quite young. And it was just at that journey where you listen, we're probably looking at that next step to have a family and so forth, and didn't eventuate. But just you could see before I went away it wasn't perfect. Yeah. And then to go add to that and be away for that time, you do drift.
Yeah.
So it was a natural drift. In the end, she's happy, I'm happy. Where I am now compared to where I was, it's just a total different journey, and what I wanted back then at that point in my life, I wasn't clear. Didn't know where I wanted to be. I was just living life, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Well, you seem clear on the direction that you're at now, because, you're quite successful in the space. Thanks, you've got a decent-sized electrical business, and, I'm assuming you're making money. And we'll get to that stage. But, as Luke said, so you're working away. Let's follow that story through. And then where from there, mate?
Yeah, so I reckon it was about 2016 I come back to Adelaide. And I realised that the market had changed in Adelaide.
In what way? What do you mean the market had changed?
Before I went away, like the company I was working for was almost like a destination club. It was like a footy team. When you used to try and crack into that side, you'd feel like you'd earned your spot. When you got in with O'Donnell Griffin, you didn't want to leave, and if you did, you never got back in. Does that make sense? So when they went down, it was like, And then I tried to find it in the West. It was great, just not the same environment. Come back to Adelaide. I had to come back. Old boy got a bit sick. And then I worked my way through a few companies in Adelaide, and it just didn't have the same culture, the same feel. And I was like, you know what? I fucking miss that. I miss getting up out of bed every day, being a part of something. And then, I went and travelled overseas for a little bit, and as a single man. And then I come back and met my wife to be, had no plan, no vision, nothing. And
there it is, Luke. There it is again, mate. They do the plug the wife.
No. Look, she's, I think she knows she's worth her weight in gold. But
there it is.
Personally, I went away and, like I said, come back, and then I was like, there's no jobs in Adelaide. There was not much work around in 2016. I don't know if it affected you guys, but it was like 30, 40 jobs on Seek for a Sparky. Now there's 1,000.
Yeah, right.
It's a total different world. So I went, you know what? Fuck it, I'll just start a business.
Yeah.
So that was the start of it. Green Connect was founded.
No, I was a sole trader back then.
Right. Okay.
So,
and we'll talk about that transition, because we've been there, haven't we? Look, you've been a sole trader, I've been a sole trader. That's sort of the start, isn't it? You go from doing your apprenticeship, working somewhere on a wage, or in your case, probably a really good wage, working away remotely, to fuck it, I'm going to give this a go.
Yeah, 100%.
So what's the mindset at that point? Tell us or people watching, because I'm sure there's going to be other young tradies or sparkies that go, you know what? Fuck, I've been away. Like, I want to do my own thing. So talk people through that, because we've all done it.
Yep.
But the mind behind it is probably the lesson for people watching.
My purpose was I couldn't get what I wanted out of working back for other businesses in Adelaide when I returned. And I went, you know what?
And what was that? What were you looking for? What boxes needed to be ticked?
To just surround myself with people who allowed the best out of me, and me to allow the best out of them. So I wanted to start something from the ground up.
Did you get that off TikTok?
No. You're going to laugh at me, but it's just how I operate, brother.
So that's the reason you wanted to have a business. So it wasn't shitloads of money and all these guys working for you and control.
I told you what
and
I
power
am, mate. You'd
and
fucking
all that.
fall off your chair. I've put everything into that business, and I don't care. It's not about the money for me. It's just about just being happy day in, day out, brother.
Yeah.
It seems that's like, one of your traits, isn't it? From listening to your story a little bit, you've sort of, you worked into that big sort of company, and you liked the culture and the purpose of waking up and working in that team environment to, obviously you have built your own team environment now as, obviously the owner of the business, right?
100%.
So talk us through that. So sole trader, start your own business, shut the doors on working for somebody. Next day, I'm out on my own. So what happens then? Tell us.
I had to go back to my parents and go, hey, can I borrow some money?
Yeah.
I remember I come back from overseas and
Yeah,
I reckon
right.
I had about $1,200 in my bank account. You know,
Yeah.
I come back actually to go back overseas.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even going to start my own business.
Right.
I come back, I had a FIFO job lined up.
Yeah.
I was broke. You know,
Yeah.
as you do when you're overseas, you party a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know about overseas. The furthest I've ever been to Victor Harbour, mate. So
But no, I literally had to borrow some money off my parents, and I said, "Oh, I need to buy a car. I need to buy a van." I didn't even have a vehicle, had nothing, had no house, had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they loaned me some cash, and then I bought myself a Volkswagen Transporter. Those things are they're diamonds,
Yeah.
right? But when they go, they just blow up. So I basically started at the back of a van, decked it out, and then had no clients, had no people. I lost those connections for years, and then I think it was just through my natural friendship group and family and friends who I met throughout the time and a few acquaintances, just said, here, come do this, come do that.
Yeah.
And that was it.
well, it shows though, doesn't it, that anybody can give it a go, really. These guys that are watching going, oh, I want to start my own business, it's actually doable. I mean, you've just explained you did it coming off the back of an overseas holiday.
Yeah.
With $1,200 to get over.
$1,200 and away you went.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we fast forward, 2016 to 10 years later, I mean, the growth is so rapid.
100%.
And we'll get to that. So what's the next little evolution?
Yeah, look, it was probably 6 months in, and I remember I was up inside a ceiling one day, and I was like, why the fuck am I replacing ceiling fans in the old shitty homes? Like, this isn't my dream, you know. But I was like, I still love doing it. But I was like, you know what? I don't know if you remember back in 2017, we had the state outage. The whole entire state went down. We lost it.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So I'd started doing some generators with another fella. We did a bit of a co-directorship for about a year.
So sort of partnered up with somebody.
Yeah. He's a sole trader as well. That just kind of died in its ass. You know, generators were just going out of fashion there. Solar started to pick up, and that was the next journey. I went, nah, I don't want to do solar. So I got back into construction. So then that's when Green Connect emerged. I actually met a guy when I was doing my solar course, and I don't know how. I'd never met him before. I'm just sitting there one day doing it, and this guy just fucking wouldn't shut up. He just keep annoying me, and I was like, this guy, if I don't fucking get away from him, I'm not going to learn a single thing here.
Yeah.
But he's definitely not going to be a subscriber after you've just said that.
I could mention his name, and everyone knows him and just loves him. He's a legend. We're fucking good mates now still.
Yeah.
Anyway, he just says to me, he goes, oh, I hear you're the guru. I'm like, mate, I've never fucking met you in my life. I don't know who he was chatting to. Anyway, pulls me aside and goes, hey, listen, can I have a chat with you after class? I was like, yeah, man. And he goes, oh, listen, I've picked up this job. Do you want to just sort of come and help me out? And I'm like, mate, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
He goes, just come do some cable tray for me. I'm like, all right, no worries. Fucking, he goes, oh, how about you come around my house and, I'll show you some drawings and that. I get there. And it's this massive job. And I was like, fucking, how's a domestic Sparky doing a fucking massive job like this?
Bit out of his depth.
Yeah, as you do. You got to start somewhere. But yeah, he took it on, probably a little bit too big for him. I stepped in, helped him sort of manage it. And I went, you know what? Fuck, there's two opportunities I can give to the market here. One, I want to build a fucking really good team around me. But two, the industry there's such a huge separation of quality between where I was to where the commercial, younger tier was. And the design was deplorable. So I went, you know what? Fuck it, I could do this myself.
I think what Ryan's saying is there was an opportunity and you saw it. And I think that's what most business owners sort of see, don't they? They I had it with that housing trust sort of thing that I've spoken about in my journey. And I think you're saying there was a space in that particular field of electrical.
Gap in the market, yep.
And I think you've got to be one of those people to be successful in business, and only success in business, not other things. But you've got to be able to see that with that foresight to go, right, I'm going to jump into this and give it a go. And I think that's what you're saying to the younger sort of crew that are tuning in and watching and subscribing, that there was an opportunity for you there.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that?
You're absolutely spot on. And look, to be fair, if you're getting into business for money or for time, they're the two things you're never going to be able to have together, right? You can only have one or the other. But if you can get into the market and be like, hey, listen, there's a point of difference that I can offer, that's your shit.
So that was you. So the journey was found a little space and you went into it. So let's talk through that next little bit of your business, Green Connect. So you jumped into a certain area.
Yep.
And grew from there. So I'm assuming the story,
So is it commercial, Ryan?
Yeah, commercial construction.
So you do mainly commercial, you steered away from the residential side of it?
I had to start somewhere, Lucy, all right? And I had a little bit of exposure doing some high-end architectural homes prior to that. But this is in the commercial construction space. But my background's industrial construction.
Right.
All right, so large industrial. So I went from there all the way back.
Yeah.
Then I went, right, there's a gap in the market here. And that's when I was like, cool, I can give this a crack.
Employees at this point or by yourself?
I reckon I got 3 months into that particular project, took on my first ever employee.
Right.
He was our first ever apprentice. And then, I seen that gap in the market for, God, I reckon over the next 3 years, we grew from myself to mid-20s. It went rapidly.
As in 20 staff sort of thing? Yep.
Yeah, we went 1 to 3 to 5 to 7 to mid-20s overnight.
Yeah.
COVID platformed us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just went crazy. I think we just had a tails up, chest out, dynamic was there. We were just growing. Nothing could stop us. You know?
So you're obviously highly motivated because even the way you elevate the conversation, it goes from a level of, basic to boom, boom, boom. People be watching going, fuck, this guy's on. Like, I'm getting that vibe as
sort
well.
of hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Didn't stop.
Yeah.
Two speeds, like 0 to 100, man.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah.
fucking
And he
in
still hasn't
between.
stopped.
The ADD kicking in already.
Yeah.
Or
And
it's
that's
the
not
Red
Red
Bull.
Bull, guys.
Yeah, fucking combine the two, mate. I'm out of control.
That's it.
So that's where you're at in the business space. So along the way though, mate, and I've got some notes here that you've sent through. So what have been some of the biggest challenges for you? Because people watching, you don't just go from 0 to 20 employees with no challenges. I mean, it sounds good, but there must have been some hurdles along the way or some challenges where you've gone, fuck, is this the right decision? Is this the wrong decision? Or was it all just flat to the floor and we're going up, 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 baby sort of thing?
Look, there was a point there when, it was just getting so much momentum, we just kept going with it. But you're right, 100%. I was never clear at the start of where the vision of the company was going. I knew my vision, not the company.
Yeah.
They're two different things.
Okay.
So your personal vision's one thing. But if people in the company don't know where you want to grow and where that company needs to be by a certain point, it's just going to be a rocky road.
Yeah,
and that's what we kind of hit.
Okay.
There was that 3 to 5 year period, we grew so rapidly and there were blokes that were coming in the team. Like there was some incredible people that joined the company journey, but they weren't clear because I wasn't clear. So it wasn't a reflection of them; it was a reflection of me. So that's when I realised I was like, hang on, this is really great to grow a big business, but hang on, some of the people I brought in are asking me for help that I hadn't even learnt by that point.
So you're saying people management was a challenge?
Yeah,
Is that sort of the answer?
I guess leadership at the level where we were as a business.
Yeah, like the business was growing quicker than the leadership was sort of growing.
Correct. And I brought in some really high caliber people within the industry that arguably were some of the best in the industry, right? But it was almost like, no disrespect to those people, it was like putting a semi-trailer on a go-kart track.
Yeah.
It was just such a powerful team, but yet they didn't have the clear leadership from myself.
Are you the semi-trailer or the go-kart track?
I'm the go-kart track.
You're the go-kart track.
Yeah.
So how did that get remedied?
We had to descale.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went up the mountain at a high flat stick pace to a massive crash down the mountain, would you say?
The altitude got you, mate.
What's that?
The altitude got you up there.
It was a bit thin up there. The air wasn't it? Didn't have much oxygen.
You crashed and burned by the sound of it.
Yeah, well, that's the 0 to 100.
Yeah. Well, that's the balance, isn't it? And that's usually what happens with small to medium businesses. They can shoot up, but they can also come crashing down. And that can be employees, it can be leadership, it can be cash flow, it can be running out of work. There's a lot of factors. So which ones were at play for you? Or all of them? Or
Look, when we got to that sort of mid-20 mark, we realised that the business had grown so rapidly. We're like, holy shit, we got to keep a certain revenue target in place to support the labour function. Not only that, but also then, propel us to the right direction of where we're going. And after COVID, a lot of businesses were suffering in different ways. And because we were new, young and dynamic, we could adapt quite, rapidly. But we did find then we were just not having consistent clients. We were having a bit of turnover on labour on our internal side. We're like, this is just not what I created here. That culture is not what I originally
was the cash flow there to maintain such a big stable of staff?
It was for probably a good 12 months of that you could feel when we hit the peak, we're like, okay, cool. And it was just, and bit by bit, it was coming down. And then I was like, all right, before I eat the shit sandwich here.
Well, we've all done it, haven't we? Everybody thinks they're making more money than they have. And they go, fuck, I've got all these guys, all this work, I'm making all this money. And then before you know it, you go, well, shit, there's not all this money.
No.
but there's still all these guys to pay.
100%.
And that's a slippery slope, isn't it?
It is. And to be fair, like, you know, when you don't look at your own bank account and all of a sudden start looking at it a lot more, you're like, hang on, I'm losing my direction of what I've done here. I built a business, which was amazing, but now my focus is purely on money. Hang on, what's going on here?
Yes.
My focus isn't where it should be.
Yep.
I'm like, and then all of a sudden you start thinking, well, why is this happening? Why is that happening? And yeah.
Were you living the life like most tradies do, where you're lavish, buying things, living it up, and sort of spending more than you're making? Or?
Not then. No, like honestly.
Now, just now.
No, not even now. I wouldn't even say now. Like, to be fair, I would like to think there'll be a time when that will occur.
Well, you have arrived in a helicopter today.
Yeah,
so you're
I was
clearly
going to say,
money.
I know. Fucking that poor house next door just got crippled by my, you know. But, look, in all honesty, it was probably a 2-year period, what you were sort of saying before, where it went a little bit rocky.
Yeah.
And then it got to about mid-2023. And at that point, I was like, all right, we're going to revolutionize this business. We're going to pull it right back. We're going to be clear on where we're going. Reached out to Mojo.
So that's that personal development coaching era now. Because obviously, and let's go into that. Look, you're big in that space, aren't you? I mean, you've spruiked Mojo.
Not before it. I had no understanding, but since then, 100%.
And would you attribute that to the Mojo coaching stuff? I mean, we all know Michael, and he's been on the podcast, and he is very controversial, and you either love him or you hate him or you agree or you don't agree. So would you attribute your next rise up the mountain or next step in the successful direction to that leadership coaching?
100%.
Yeah, right.
Like, honestly, like, hand on heart, I'm someone, and bring me back to my football days. I was always someone who thrived around the right leadership and coaching. So I realised that I needed someone to support what I wanted to achieve, because I naturally didn't have those skills. I have the drive, the tenacity, you know, the focus to want to get somewhere. But if I'm not clear on how I want to achieve that, or if I'm not being the best version of me, ain't going to happen. So,
right.
Do you think, sorry to cut you off, Ryan, do you think if you stayed on that path of just kept going to your 20 to 30 employees, do you think you would have reached out and organised any self-coaching or business coaching for yourself? Or do you think you would have just thought, oh, I've got this in the bag, I'm just fucking going for it?
Truth be told, I was selling a business in 2023. I was out. I was checking out. My relationship was done.
Yeah.
My wife now was done with me. She was seen as depressed, fucking overworked.
Yeah.
I wasn't in a good place.
Well, this is the realistic side of small to medium businesses, isn't it? That nobody talks about. They talk about the flash cars and the big houses and all the bullshit.
Yeah.
But there is a price to that. And I believe there is. I mean, I paid it with a divorce of probably working too much and things like that.
Yeah.
So can we dive into the bit of the personal stuff? So you're saying what, massive depression hits at home? Is that you, your partner?
Both.
Or did you have kids at this point?
No, we were trying there for a little while. Like, honestly, like, Michelle, my wife, like, the bullshit she seen me Paul, but then also the bullshit she had to go through to stick with that journey. Like,
but what was it? Was it long days at work? Was it stress? Like, what is it? Like, people sort of skirt over these things, and on our podcast, don't really. We sort of
He likes to really fucking get you when you're down, man.
He
likes
stick
the thumbtack in.
He likes to just drive it in when you're like, you know.
Are we talking about the podcast?
Yeah, I know. It's a counselling session as well, man.
You got me. It's not that. What it is I want to add some value to the people watching. So I want them to go, look, Ryan's got this amazing journey of this success story.
Yep.
He's got all these employees. He's got this big South Australian-based business. He's doing well. But they do need to see the other side. Otherwise, there's no value in it, is there? The story can't just be, oh, you make all this money.
But life's just not that easy, really.
It's not.
And
it's not.
Like, young people out there watching that want to start up a business, it isn't as easy as getting 20 employees and you just making all this money, you know, like, and obviously you can continue on with your story, let Heath really just drive it in a bit more and
but
So
what happened? Give us the rundown. Go for it.
Yeah, look, well, I was at my knees basically. I wanted to sell the business. I was burnt out for 2 years, right? But obviously the energy it took to build that bad boy in that first 3 years was intense. Like, I honestly, like, I reckon I would have been doing average 80 to 100 hours some weeks, no word of a lie. You'd finish at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, be back there at 5, 6 o'clock to reopen up the warehouse.
And that's not good for home life.
No.
I mean, there's not too many
didn't have kids.
wives. you're probably lucky at that point because being a dad, and that's another question, that would have changed the trajectory. I'm sure it did.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when did they come along? So obviously you guys survived because you're still together.
Yeah. Look, so for 2 years, like I said, it was a rough journey, right? And then I descaled and I went, right, you know what? Before I did that though, I was like, fuck, I was fat. I was miserable. I was on the piss. A bit of a party animal, a bit of a rat bag. And I looked at it and I went, you know, like I got to pull my head in.
Did you feel like you'd failed coming back down the ladder from a personal point of view?
No, because I call it my first life, was the first marriage, was that first, evolution. I rushed into that and that never got me anywhere. And then I realized at this point I did the same thing again. So I was like, hang on, I've got an amazing wife. I've got amazing sort of people around me.
Yes.
They're seeing me cooked. There's something I've got to do. I'm the problem here. I'm not like, this isn't other people. It's happening to me again.
Because you're doing it the second time around.
Yeah, there's clearly a problem here.
Yeah.
You fucking put that mirror on and go, hang on. And that's when, I actually, before I reached out to Michael, I went and started training at the gym. I started to reduce my alcohol consumption. I started to reduce the people I was hanging around, and then I went, all right, cool, better version of me. I can feel this. I'm eating better. I'm feeling better. Then I reached out to Michael and I went, all right, hang on. Now I need some better leadership, qualities on part of the business.
Yep.
And then, for the next 12 months, I worked with Michael and in a part of his business grouping as well. And then I just started to see, I reckon in the first 6 weeks, there was an initial change straight away. My mindset shifted and went bang. And then my wife's seen my evolution. So then she jumped on a bit of it's a course Michael does. And I think everyone who ever is in that position should do it. It's called Thrive Time. This thing is a game changer. She went and did it. And then my wife, I seen her evolve from where she was during the rough times to then crushing it. Like she was struggling. She then started, training flat out. She can eat like 5 bags of chips and grow an ab muscle, man. This thing's unbelievable. I'm so jealous. But and then she started doing marathons and all this shit. Next minute, she's just crushing it. I see this evolution in her and I'm like, cool. So then I realized that at that point, I'm like, as long as I'm being the best version of me, she's going to be a byproduct of that.
Sounds like you're both in a better place from where you were a few years ago. To be honest,
there was a really dark moment there, and I won't get into full details. Nothing bad happened, but I remember one night my wife went out and she didn't come home when I expected her to, and she come home the next morning just fucking rattled, and I went, for her to not want to be around me, that's not cool, man.
Yeah, something needs to change.
That was almost the beginning of the end. If something didn't change,
the light bulb moment.
Yep. Yeah, and I know,
Well, we love the light bulb moment, don't we, Uncle Lukey? Because you say it all the time. But I mean, it's a
Maybe
good.
You should be a Sparky, brother.
No, I'm not smart enough, man.
What do you mean?
But it's a good point because obviously you've honed in on that and you've gone, right, we need to do some self-development here. So the ability to do that is something that a lot of people don't have.
No, it's true.
I mean, I'm probably one of them with my marriage and my business, and that was the point that I look back listening to you speak and think, fuck, if only I'd knew at that point. So credit to you and your wife for being able to pull yourself out of that, because in today's society, I mean, that's the point that most people, it breaks, doesn't it?
Marriage breaks. General, men struggle to realise that they can be a fuck up, right?
Absolutely.
Or if you're just being a shit partner, husband, dad, whatever, it's hard to face that in the mirror and look at yourself and go, I need to actually change myself.
It is.
So good on you, man. I think it's hats off to you.
And it's a fine line, isn't it, Ryan, between being a successful business person, and we've spoken about it, Luke, so many times, to crushing it at work, but absolutely fucking it up or failing at it at home.
Yeah.
Really.
Absolutely. If you're not the best version of yourself when you walk through that door every night, you're going to bring those people down.
Well, then the whole castle collapses, and ultimately that's where you're at. So the rebuild starts.
Yep.
You get in bed with Mojo. You sort of start doing all this personal coaching.
Not literally get into bed, but you
weren't in bed with him. I mean, he's going to see that, and there's a reel for you, Michael. But so the rebuild starts.
Yep.
So where does Green Connect go from there? How does it then go from that to the powerhouse that it is today?
Look, to be honest, I was proud of the business beforehand, but now I'm just fucking, I couldn't be more prouder. It's grown to be in a company now that I always envisaged it to be.
Yep. Which is what?
So right now we specialise in tier 2 construction, which we always wanted to be, both commercial and industrial sectors.
Yep.
We went from that 11 group in 2023 to, I think by Christmas we had like 15, 16. So in 6 months' time. And then the 2025 calendar, we grew it to about mid-20s. And then I think it was end of 2025 to start of this year, we hit our peak at about 32. So
when you talk to the people listening, you're talking 32 employees, not turnover of 32 million.
No. I would honestly
I was
say
getting excited then. I thought, geez, we are.
No, the first 5 years I did turn over about 30 employees. Yeah, it was. And I never.
Can we talk money? Is that all right? Like, what sort of money do you guys turn over as an electrical company at that size? I mean, I don't know electrical.
No, absolutely.
I just assume you all print $100 notes. So.
yeah, you've seen those videos, mate. Few toilet
but
runs.
No, I mean, like an electrical business of that size doing tier 2 sort of stuff with that. What's the turnover look like?
We hit a budget this year to hit 10 mil, and I think we're going to snap it.
Yeah, wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a journey, but yeah.
Well, there's a price to that, like we've just discussed, haven't we?
Yep, and it's not all rosies, by the way. Like the challenges we have now, which every business still does, I felt that in the last 12 months we probably had different challenges than what we did 2 years ago, and that was also purely because I've now become a father as well.
Yeah, so when did that come?
Michelle and I announced our pregnancy. Would have been July last year. She got pregnant in April, so we had baby girl in December last year.
Congratulations!
Thank you,
well done,
thank you.
Well done. A few sleepless nights for you.
Oh yeah, I don't know if this can edit out eye bags, but far out. That
but I know good
feet
Botox.
are growing.
I know a good Botox lady, mate. I can show you a number.
I've been recommending a few lately.
Get a couple,
surprisingly.
So how's baby life changed work life? Because it happened to Luke, it's happened to me, it's happened to Tim, the cameraman, everybody watching. I mean, like, it does change, doesn't it?
Honestly, I think I was a little bit naive. No, I wasn't naive. I knew a challenge was going to come my way, but to the extent it was and is, it's two different things.
It's next level. I mean, nobody can explain the no sleep and the cranky misses and all of that sort of stuff.
To be fair, I was like, for the first few years of the business, I was like, I was just working flat out. I've got this. I'm like, you know what? A baby's going to be the same.
Yeah, man. You're fucking
famous last words. I'm not gonna lie. Like little Frahmy bit off a little bit more than he could chew, I reckon.
One of Ryan's qualities: delusion. Delusion.
You just got to bite down and chew like fuck, they say. But
has it changed your goals on life or business or money?
Absolutely. I mean, look, I've never been money driven, and that's hand on heart. All right, but my success purpose now is huge. To be the best parent I physically can be. I didn't have the best childhood. My mum was incredible. I don't know, my father, different reflection. But that's all I want to be. I want to now build the best family with my wife.
You want to be the dad that you didn't have?
100%.
Is that sort of a snapshot
That's a burn desire. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what does the future look like for Green Connect? Tell us that before we wrap it up, mate, because we could talk to you for hours. Thanks for coming on, mate. I mean, you're a phenomenal communicator and talker, and it's really interesting to hear, isn't it, Luke, the mindset behind leadership? And I mean, owning your stuff's a big quality that you have, obviously, and I'm inspired by that. But what does it look like for Green Connect going forward?
Yeah, look.
Bigger, more guys, more turnover, tier 2, tier 1. I mean, what's the direction?
So the company's called Green Connect Australia. I always had a vision I could take this across purely because I'd worked interstate, throughout my journey. 5-year goal, I think we could 5x the business if it all come to plan. No push, but it could. I think the next 12 months, we've actually had a lot of learnings over the last 12 where we want to now restabilize our complete leadership team and our structure, and moving forward, we want to get clear as to how we can really dynamic South Australia. We've got a gap in the market, and we're doing really well in that space. But to really grow that industrial division and our commercial division, I think this can take it Australia-wide. I would like to see the business. Yeah, I think it's a $50 million business. I really do. It's no push for me, but I really do feel the people that are a part of it, the journey, and if we grow this organically together, I just want to see the people who've put in the hard work and effort just see that byproduct of success.
I've got a last couple of questions for you. So if you're not driven by money, right, help me understand why the push to get it to a $50 million company. And I'll call you out on that because I'm geared in business by money. Yep. That is one of my drivers in small business. So do you understand what I'm asking, Luke? Like, if you're happy and baby's happy and wife's happy and Ryan's at the gym and he's not hitting the piss and he's getting Botox and he's looking all class.
I haven't got.
Then tell me why the need to go national and why the need to go from 10 million revenue to 50 mil. Because people be listening to that going, this dude's just told us that he doesn't give a fuck about money. Why does he need to jump to such a higher level? Is it an internal thing? What is it? And I'll let you answer it.
I honestly believe that what I can provide to the market Australia-wide is different from what other people can. And that's to build leadership teams within leadership. So that means building separate divisions in the company across Australia, hit a market that is...
Like mini satellite teams around.
And I feel that will be the benefit. Now, look, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not putting all this time and effort in for nothing. I want to see the cherry on the cake at the end of it, though. I would love to see the business, whenever it's the time to maybe exit the business, or have people come into the business. That's the true success. I want to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
I've actually, I've started building a strategic board as part of the business bit by bit. And I've recently had a founder of another company, very successful company that he exited after 30 years. And it's quite funny. He goes, "You're one of the very many few that I've met that have actually seen the same value. And it's all about quality. And that's one of my purposes is quality. To stick in the current revenue target we are and the team size, we're bouncing between areas of where I really believe we can implement quality. Does that make sense? So to get the business to that 50 mil rev, then gets us to a larger tier in our space, I should say, but then across more dynamics.
It sounds like you're getting some good advice along the way as well, right? You got some good people around you, and
you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's a true saying. It is very true.
That's my philosophy in life. So yeah, I think I do want to see a byproduct from all the time and effort I've put into it. My favourite saying is you can't have this in the same sentence, time and money. You either have one or the other.
Can you though? Do you think? Because I actually beg to differ. I think a successful business can have all three. It can give back, like we're talking about. It can make a difference in the industry space. And I think the other two key parts to a successful small business is buying back your time.
Yep.
And obviously being remunerated for that.
Yep.
That's my value sort of belief behind it.
I think over the next 2 years, I'll start to see a better ROI for the time and effort I've put in to date.
Yeah.
I just don't think to the journey thus far because I grew it so rapidly without clear focus and structure. If you really look at the business in two chapters, you look at the first 5 years.
Yes.
You look at the next 3 years. They're like chalk and cheese. All right. We've arguably, everyone gone, oh, you've grown so much in the last 2 years. I'm like, no, the foundation was built. We've just built the house 10 times better. Lot stronger walls. The roof didn't fall down and collapse.
Yeah.
It's built differently.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
now I just want to replicate that.
Well, you're very passionate. I mean, I'm not going to lie, Luke. I mean, I'm almost a little bit inspired. I might go to work after this.
Hang on, what? First time in a month, you reckon?
Fucking this year, man.
I'm definitely inspired by it. And I mean, I'm sure there's people subscribing and watching that'll go, geez, wow. And I mean, hats off to you because one of the traits that I'm listening to is the growth has been so rapid, but the learnings are so deep. And you've only elevated yourself from those learnings and surrounding yourself with the right people. So good on you, mate. Hey, I mean, fantastic. And what a story. And I hope there's young tradies and guys out there watching going, you know what, I can somewhat balance the journey between marriage and family and starting a business and working away and failing and falling and climbing. And it's an interesting story.
What would you give advice to somebody out there that's in that space of, 3, 5, 10 employees that's trying to get it to that next level? What advice would you give a young sort of up and coming Sparky or young business owner?
I think that's the toughest business size, to be fair, because you're playing multiple hats in that size business. You probably haven't got a dedicated team to take care of certain roles, whether it's admin, whether it's estimating, project delivery. So I think it's whether or not they want to be clear on where they want to be.
Yeah.
If they know where they want to be in a journey, say it's 5 years from that point, then they need some assistance. You're not just going to naturally create that. Clarity and then support. Where you feel you are really functional in your business, don't lose that function, but then build amazing people around you who can lift the areas where you're not necessarily as skilled or as developed in.
Yeah.
So having said that, to wrap it up, what role do you play in Green Connect then? If your understanding is about bringing different people in to elevate the business, which is great advice because I agree 100%. So what role do you play? What is Ryan's skill set or value that he brings?
I'm 100% a visionary. So my focus is strategy, culture, the pipeline of work, key stakeholder relationships, but more importantly, just getting the best out of a team.
You're a motivator.
Yeah, maybe I am. I'd like to. I like
Green
to
Connect motivation.
Sorry, Mojo, we just cut you out of the business coaching space. Ryan's coming in.
Look, I'm willing to have the hard conversations, but I'm more about setting the standard.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everyone knows where we're going, and as long as I can get the right people in the right role, that's key. You can't put a square peg in a round hole. It's as simple as that. So, seeing where people can be, where they want to be in their journey 1, 3, and 5 years ahead, I'm making sure we're working towards that. I mean, look, we just really quickly, we're bringing apprentices. They're knocking on the door every single day. All right, I'm talking about new people to be into the trade. And
can you send a couple of them our way for tiling, mate? Because we can't find an apprentice anywhere. Not
really.
At all. So
we got 8 that applied just for jobs this year alone.
Wow.
And we actually got an internal process starting next Friday. We got a really good filtering process as part of our onboarding strategy and development for apprentices because they're all directly employed.
Yeah.
And I'll look at it and go, if we're going to grow to the business we want to get to, you're the future.
Oh, they are 100%.
And if you guys aren't supported, and if you're not coming in with clear goals of what you want to achieve, we're never going to get there. So.
Super professional, man. So anybody that signs on to Green Connect, I think they're in good hands.
Yeah,
so,
definitely. I might sign on myself.
Yeah.
Mate, Lightbulb wants me to Sparky, mate. I'll bring the best out of you. We'll take you a heartbeat.
All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. Ryan,
Lovely
thanks for coming on, man. There's the left-handed high-fiver, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for coming on. We'll get you
cheers,
back.
boys.
Thank you.
You know the deal, guys. Subscribe, follow, share. We're hoping Ryan jumps onto his socials and pumps this one out, and the Green Connect community jump on board. So
let's do it.
Like it or love it, guys. There's the success story of Ryan. And thanks for being honest, mate.
Yeah.
We love that.
Thanks for opening up, mate.
Pleasure, boys.
Take
Love
it
it.
easy.